Hello. In this short session, I want to look at business models, and in this particular case, we're looking at the lean canvas model, which is a very useful model to look at the high level of things, the bigger picture as to the reason for the change and some aspects around whatever change initiative you're putting in place. Lean, because it very much keeps it down to like an empirical formula in a very streamlined fashion. So this is why it's used quite often at the project and program end of things, at the beginning of the program and the projects, and quite often more at a business analysis point of view from a pre-project, if you like, portfolio level, looking at the initiative in the first place, or giving some idea what the initiative might be about. So the reason is that we take a very simple view of it, because quite often we tend to clog up our ideas too much. And the form has two segments to it. The left side of the segment of this diagram here looks at two things. First of all, looks at the situation at hand, the situation that we have, right, and looks at the three key ones. I'm not going to put problem area, but quite often look at the three key situations, three key issues, if you like, or points that are driving the reason for the change. Like a relocation, for example, maybe because the cost of renting is going up, we're expanding, and we just need some better place, a bit more ergonomic to work with it, for example, those sort of things. Right? And on here we have the solution side of it, right, which then answers these three. What are the three key points of solution, the three key points that we have to address that situation that we have here? Okay. Now, linked to those 3 points on the solution scale, we also therefore need to put some metrics in place. Metrics. How to measure and to measure success, really, or something to prove that we've actually made the changes. This is what we're really saying when we look at metrics. So we need to know where we're right now, the as is, and then the to be bit, or where we expect to be, and therefore when we get there, to see how we made the changes we have. Now, of course, associated with that, there are some costs. So underneath here, we look at the costs, right? Which look at marketing, for instance. It looks at production, marketing, right? Production, for instance, and anything involved with transporting, whatever the products are. All those things are just some points that we need to consider from the costs point of view. So we need to know what it's going to cost to put this situation, to put this change in place. Right. Having done that, the other things we now need to look at is the other side of it. What is it particular about our particular change? So this side is split into three pieces at the top here. The first one, we look at the unique proposition. Unique proposition. What is particular, special to our change, special to the product we're putting in place? So what is particular about what we're doing here from a point of view of us? Like my videos on the channel, their unique proposition is the way I deliver the stuff. And then we look at the other side of thing, which is the unfair advantage. What is it that I have, or what is it that the solution had that we can offer that is different to what other people aren't doing? So it's special to us. So again, special to the offering, for example, right? What is it about that we're doing here that is very particular to that we have? It's an unfair advantage. It's something we have that nobody else has. For example, it could be positioning in the market, it could be geographic, it could be the skill sets you have on board. So it's important to take these into consideration. These are quite important to take in consideration, obviously. And then next to that, we need to look at the customer segment. Who are we targeting in this point of view? It's the customer segment. Segment. Target for our change. Who are we targeting for our change? And then part of that, we need to look at the channels involved. So we have the box here looking at the channels the channels we use for sale, use to market and get to our customer. So what channels are we going to use to get to our customer? How we're going to get there? Because it just depends what the customer is. If these people are we're selling a product that very much is these people online, then obviously we're going to use a web-based type product. If it's a high street type scenario, then we use that type of a selling point of view as well. So how do we get to our customer? It depends on the age group, the demographics, and all those sort of things we considered as well. And then linked to that, we have the revenue streams that come in here. Where are we going to get our money from? So these are the revenue streams, right, which therefore lead to our return on the investment, exactly, etc. So here we have the costs. So there's a link between the costs and the revenue streams, how much it's going to cost to get this into place, and then where we're going to get our money from, which will then in turn obviously look back at the profit and how we work that out. Okay, how we're going to get to the people, the customer, having identified the customer we're going to go to, the channels we need to use to get there. Right. What is very particular to our proposition, and what unfair advantages do we have? So that's part of it, which then links back and therefore helps to drive this. So it's a very simple empirical view of things, but it does help to unclutter everything. Now, the titles here are generic. The box framework is very specific, okay? But what you title with is obviously there are simple points that we need to look at the current situation, problem, whatever it is, our solution for that, the measurements of where we are right now, so we can therefore prove that we've done or see the change we've made, and the cost of getting that change in place. Any unique proposition that we have that's very particularly to us, some unfair advantages to that proposition, what are our customers we're heading for, the channels we need to use to get to those customers, and therefore understand the work streams. These boxes can change, but the principle behind them is very similar. This is the lean canvas business model, used very much earlier on in the chain to get a better top-end view of what the solution is like. So I hope that provides a little bit of extra information to do that. Of course, we'll add some other ones, other models, look at the other videos on different models, you know, business flow diagrams, customer journeys, etc. And we'll look at those as context mapping as well. So look at those too. If there are any other comments or any other videos you'd like to be interested in topics, please don't hesitate to drop me a note on the Sustainable PM channel, and I'll do my best to try and address those. Thank you.